Say that again.
20%, Sergeant.
For what year is it?
It's a 2011, Sergeant.
I'm gonna fucking murder you.
With car prices at an all-time high, you might be wondering who the heck is still buying these gosh darn cars, driving up the prices. Well, you might be alarmed, you might be shocked, but when you join the military, you don't have to strictly worry about your life being in danger. You also have to worry about being scammed out of your money by, in today's episode, car dealerships who have been ruthlessly getting over on service members so badly that the United States government had to step in and help because it was just getting so bad. Like, soldiers were getting out of the military, couldn't afford anything else except the car payment. It was just bad. It was just bad. And I even called car dealerships myself, pretending to be a new soldier. Hi, I'm a new soldier at Fort Stewart. I recently joined the Army. They gave me a $50,000 bonus and I need a car. And you'll be shocked to hear what they told me.
You said you're in the military?
Yes, sir.
So would be the lowest you could get.
And so in this video, I'm going to tell you how soldiers get themselves in these situations, how car dealerships get over on soldiers, why soldiers are the demographic that pays the most for cars, what the government did to help, how to buy a car properly because we all need one in this country, and also how not to overpay for a car in this country because we all need one. And so if you guys are new to the channel, like the video, comment down what branch you're in, where you're going for basic training, what's your MOS, what kind of car do you want, and also join the Discord. And if you're struggling with the ASVAB, links will be in the description below. And so some of you already know the answer, but most of you probably don't. But the reason why this happens so often is because, well, I want you guys to use your imagination real quick. You are a fresh out of high school teenager. You've always dreamed of having your dream Mustang, Camaro. I personally would like a Supra or a Mercedes C63, maybe a Porsche 911, but we're not there yet. But you join the military fresh out of high school. You're 18, 19 years old. You're young. You don't really know much about the world besides what you want from it. And so the military gives you this paycheck every month very frequently, you know, and on top of that, they don't really take a lot of money in terms of bills from you. So this $2,000 that you potentially are getting every month is exactly $2,000, and like over time you don't really have much to spend it on, and so you're like, F it, I'm just gonna buy what I want. And so when you go to military bases across the country, you will see young privates, young E4s with these fast hot rod cars with car payments above their heads, and they're stressing out. They're spending money out of their rear ends to pay for these cars, and it's crazy. All they have to do is watch this video and they will be in a better off situation. But if they aren't, at least you will. And before I show you how bad these car dealerships were gonna price gouge me, I have to tell you about today's sponsor, Aura, because recently I googled my name on Google and a lot of information that I did not want to be on there popped up. And that's because when you guys agree to these terms and conditions for all these games and apps that you download, you also inadvertently allow them to sell your information to data brokers, which get in the hands of marketers and scammers trying to get over on you and your money. And that's where Aura comes into play, because they monitor the internet, and not just the internet, the dark web. The dark web. They monitor that 24/7, looking for your personal information that you don't want on the internet on websites that are dangerous, websites that are information for sale, information like your credit card numbers, your date of birth, your personal addresses. And Aura lets you know that this information is on these websites, and they will try to stop it. And so they not only protect you from identity theft, but they also monitor your credit. And they also, which helped me as a soldier, provides a VPN service, because when I was in Korea, and if you're in the military, you will be overseas at one point in your life, I was not able to watch the basketball games, the NFL games that I wanted to watch. And that's where Aura came into play, hooking me up with a VPN, allowing me to be in the United States, but in Korea, and able to watch the games that I want to watch. And so I want you guys to be protected. I don't want you guys to be scammed. And Aura is giving you guys a 14-day free trial to try for yourselves to see how Aura can protect your life. And so click the link in the description below and try it for yourself. So you're a teenager who joined the military and you didn't have a car before you joined the military just for whatever reason, and now you're at your first duty station. You, like me, who don't have a car, realize how much it sucks to not have a car, always having to ask for rides, always not being able to go places where you want to be because somebody else in the barracks who has a car doesn't want to go. Nobody wants to loan you their car because, quite frankly, you wouldn't loan somebody else your car. So you're like, I'm tired, I'm fed up. Your mental health literally takes a toll by not being able to leave the barracks. I promise you it will. And so you go to what you see on a daily basis when you go off post, which are car dealerships. And this is where I pretended to be a new soldier, pretending to buy a car. I got some money and I wondered, what's the most expensive car that you guys have in the lot right now?
2016 Dodge Charger.
Ooh, is that a Hellcat?
No.
Oh, is that at least a V8?
No.
Boy, oh boy, it's gotta suck to be you new soldiers nowadays. If you guys aren't careful and watch until the end of the video, dealerships are gonna pull tactics like have your APR, your annual percentage rate, sky high, so high that it's more than 15%, which is like the recommended most highest interest rate to get. And on top of that, they're also going to extend your payment plan to more than 60 months, which is the recommended monthly payment plan you guys should take, all in the name of cheaper car payments. Like, hey, your car payment is $200 a month, but it's for 84 months. That's no bueno. And on top of that, you guys might think you're getting a good deal, which I just told you why you're not. For that example, they're going to also add on so many extra add-on fees and give you the options for extra warranties or paint protection or better speakers and just stuff that you do not need, but you will fall for because the salesmen are going to make it seem like you actually need it, but unless you threaten to walk away, you'll quickly realize that you don't need it. So be mindful of that. And they'll also say things, all of this will be rolled into the loan, so you don't even have to worry about paying extra for it. You are paying extra for it. And so before I tell you guys how to buy a car properly, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen if you fall for that. Because you might be thinking, yeah, at least I got a car, and although it's a bad deal, I'm driving a car that I want to drive. You're in the military, buddy. You got to go to Guam, you got to go to Afghanistan, you got to go to Iraq for 9 months. And now you're going to have to be overseas, and you're going to be paying for a car that you can't even drive. And all that money that you could be investing, saving for your first house, just buying food or whatever, is going to a depreciating asset that you can't even use. What sense does that make? And going farther down the line, say you guys want to buy a house and you still owe money for your car, the bank isn't going to be inclined to let you borrow more of their money because your debt to income ratio isn't as good as they want it, because your income is already getting eaten up by a lot of that debt, i.e. your car and your phone potentially. And so they're not going to give you the amount of money that you think you could qualify for, because they're going to be like, you already owe all this money. We're not going to give you more money, because that's a risk at that point. And unfortunately, not everybody saw this video like you, and that's why you liked the video. And so the government had to step in because it was just getting so bad and service members were just getting ripped off so badly that the government had to come out with the Military Lending Act to cap interest rates at 36%, which still to me seems pretty freaking high. But if it's capped at 36%, you know people were getting ripped off at above 36% for probably a 2011 Dodge Challenger RT with 100,000 miles bought by some 18-year-old. And so not only the MLA protects you, but there's also something called the SCRA, which if you guys join the military with debt, that debt, if you're active duty or on orders, once you call your bank, has to be reduced to the interest rate of 6%. And also if you guys join the military and then you buy your car after you serve, or after you join the military, right, and you guys deploy, so you're active duty, you bought a car during active duty and you deploy and your interest rate was above like 6%, it's like 7%, but you bought it during active duty, so you can't use the SCRA. But while you deploy or while you're on deployment orders, you can reduce your interest rate to 6%, but you have to be on deployment orders. That's the only caveat. And so now that I told you how car dealerships rip soldiers off and how the government kind of stepped in to help, I'm gonna straight up tell you how to buy a car. And after calling these car dealerships, hi, I am a new soldier. I just got to Fort Stewart. I got a bonus. They gave me $50,000. I need a car, but the only thing is I don't have credit.
No, so we're not a buy here, pay here. So
Unless you're paying cash for the car, you would have to go through a bank. Every car here is 21%. It's a flat rate because it's buy here, pay here.
Unfortunately, we don't do any financing, so I don't have a bank that will do a true no credit buyer. You said you're in the military,
Yes, sir.
so 19.9 would be the lowest you can get.
The military discount is for brand new vehicles.
Yeah, so if you're trying to finance it with no credit at all, you're going to have to get a co-signer or go to a buy here, pay here lot, because we don't do buy here, pay here. We go through banks. And the first thing they're going to do is look at your credit history, and if you don't have any, you're not going to get a loan. So
For buy here, pay here is 28%.
Being told interest rates of 29% if I finance with them, and even having to buy a cosigner, I'm going to tell you flat out, if you have zero credit, which most of you probably will have no credit if you're joining the military straight out of high school, don't buy a car from a dealership. Buy a car off of Facebook Marketplace. After basic training and AIT, you guys should have enough money saved up.
Just coming from somebody who has 800 credit score, I have my own house, millionaire friends. I need you guys to get, instead of this, I need you to get this. And let me show you. Anybody hit your car, bro? You're not that stressed out. It only takes like freaking $500 to fix it. And look how many miles is on there. And you know what? Guess what? Oh, no check engine lights. You know what I'm saying? And I'm stacking my bread still. And it's like, you know, still able to go to A and B. Still able to get the girls, you know what I'm saying? Like, if a girl don't want you because of the car you drive, you should run away from her. Anyway, bro, my philosophy is I'm 23. I'm still young. I can get away with driving a little hoopty, but if I was like, you know, 25, 26, 27, 28, I got a family. But I'm just not in that stage yet, boys. Like, I personally just think having a car now is just such a waste of money.
Take somebody that you trust from your unit, i.e. your NCO or your 91 Bravos, befriended 91 Bravos, which are your mechanics in your unit, and take them with you to go check the car out, right? And make sure that car is renowned for being reliable, like a Honda or a Toyota, and just check it out, see if it checks out, and still, you know, haggle. If you guys come up on some scratches or some dings, or this was what happened to me, is that they quoted the mileage of the car lower than what it actually was. I was like, yo, no, I want $500 off and still get a good car, but you don't owe a lot of money for, or you're in debt for the rest of your military career for, right? That's if you don't have credit. And also, if you guys don't have credit, it's okay. If you guys want to build your credit, all you have to do is just apply for a starter credit card, which is usually offered by banks like Navy Federal or USAA. They understand that most people who join the military aren't going to have credit or the best credit. And also, you guys can get a star card from the military. They advertise that like crazy at the PX, and all you have to do is just get the card, apply. You're gonna have to put your social in when you apply, and then use the card, i.e. buy things that you would normally buy. Usually they do a promotion of like, if you spend this amount of money and this amount of months, you get this bonus or whatever. Don't buy stuff that you would not normally buy, but continue to buy stuff and pay it off, and after 6 months to 12 months, you'll start to see your credit score skyrocket. And you guys can check your credit score on apps like Credit Karma, My Free Credit Check. Google that and you guys will get your credit score. So there you go. If you have good credit, please do the following. First, set a budget, right? How do you set a budget? Well, if you're buying a new car, you guys should be going to your local credit union, i.e. Navy Federal or USAA, and getting pre-approved. And they will tell you how much they're willing to loan you, right? Just because they are willing to loan you $20,000, are you personally okay with owing them $20,000? No? Okay, then make sure you don't use that full $20,000. Now, if you're buying a new car, you most likely will be using close to, if not all of that. But if you can get a pre-owned loan, it's a different story. Make sure you guys also account for the insurance of the car that you buy. For instance, if you guys want to buy like a Dodge Charger or Dodge Challenger and you're 20 years old, your insurance is going to be skyrocketed high compared to a Honda Civic. So make sure you put that into your calculations as well. And also the gas mileage, the repair costs. If you're somebody like me who bought a Mercedes in their high school years and they're stationed in Fort Drum and nobody wants to fix it, that's going to be a major factor as well. Put all of that into consideration, and before you start looking at the dealership, know exactly what you want and know exactly what you're willing to pay, because you just did that. Congratulations. Put it in the comments below. Before you guys even step into the dealership, make sure you go to like Navy Federal or USAA, whatever bank or credit union you have and get a pre-approved rate and loan amount, so that way the APR that the dealership would charge you isn't an unreasonable amount. Because if you guys did not notice, the dealership actually gets a cut of that APR. So their bank at the dealership gives them 5, but they'll tell you 10, so they keep that extra 5. You know what I'm saying? Also, for financing, before you even get to the dealership, you guys can use the 15% rule, where your monthly car payment should not be more than 15% of your monthly income. And you guys can also use the 24 rule, being put 20% down on the car, and also do not finance no more than 4 years. But everybody has their own rules. Everybody's brought up different. That is what I suggest to you. And let's talk about the fun part, actually going to the car dealership and buying a car. I personally have never done this before, and so that's why I called dealerships up pretending to be a new soldier to see what it looks like. There's this great video that I'm going to show you guys of what the process looks like. Usually you're going to first talk to your car salesman. You guys,
If that's a little bit too expensive for me, probably come back another time.
What
Yeah.
if you could be able to take out $500 of it?
I'm looking at a final price of 26,000.
you're gonna hash out the numbers there, what if you want your monthly payments to look like. Do not talk about monthly payments. Talk about the out the door price, including taxes, titles, and fees.
Yeah.
Again, it's only for the 26 out the door with tax, titles, and tags that I would get it. Which I get with the market, that's not realistic. So I can save up and I can try again.
Right? Just because the car is $25,000 doesn't mean you're gonna be paying $25,000. Make sure you emphasize that you want your out the door price to be $25,000 or whatever amount that you want to pay, and it actually sticks to it, right? Do not be afraid to walk away. Do not be afraid to just let the silence kill the car salesman, because remember, guys, you guys have the leverage. They want your business.
How do you feel about 26.8?
I'm just gonna go out on a whim and do it. I'm gonna say I had to make the deal. I'm gonna tell them you're leaving.
You don't want their business. There's like 20,000 car dealerships around here. And that car that you want, there's 20,000 of them being made every day. So you should not be getting your first car the first time you go to a dealership, and that dealership is the first one you go to. No, shop around and tell them that you've been shopping around. And thirdly, be nice but firm. If you guys respectfully stand your ground and say, we agreed to $25,000. This is more than $25,000. Thank you for your time. I will be leaving. And maybe if you guys can't make it 25,000, call me. Leave the door open for them to work with you, but do not agree to anything that you don't want. Another thing is, do not tell them that you are pre-approved, or you are in the military, or you have a car to trade in until you agree to the bottom line out the door price. This is going to make you pay out of pocket a little bit more or less, and they hate that because it just gives them less to F you over, pretty much. And now that you agreed with the car salesman on the number that you want, you're gonna go to the finance guy, and he's going to make sure that everything looks right to you. Make sure it's itemized. If there are anything on that paper that does not make sense, talk about it. If it doesn't make sense, walk away. Actually, don't walk away, run away, and they will chase you down. And if they don't and try to fix it, it wasn't worth it and it was a red flag. But after everything checks out, they're going to offer you so many different packages like paint protection, speakers, undercoating, stuff like that. If you guys want it, sure, but that stuff is also negotiable too. Do not buy anything at the first price that they give you. Do not. And voila, you guys bought your brand new car. And my personal opinion is, if you're young and you're new to the Army, you shouldn't be buying your nice car at your first duty station anyway. It's just setting you back. Although you might seem like you're ahead because you're driving some nice brand new car, you're just hurting yourself, because all that money you could be putting into investments or your retirement is being spent on a depreciating asset, and it's stupid. But for those of you that want to, go for it. Cool. And some red flags that you guys are overpaying for a car is, if you guys look on Kelley Blue Book and the price of the car is more than what you see on Kelley Blue Book, you're overpaying. If your monthly payment looks low but your total cost of the car is extremely high, you're overpaying. If the out the door price you agreed earlier isn't what the finance guy in the finance office isn't showing you, you're overpaying and you're being scammed. Run away. If your loan amount is over 60 months, you're overpaying. If the APR is over 10%, you're overpaying. And also, if you finance a car for 4 years, plan on keeping it for 8 years, or you're just gonna keep the cycle of brokenness. Like, no. But all in all, make sure you guys are being smart with your decisions. It's not the end of the world if you guys don't have that nice fancy car, the first contract, or to use your bonus with. Invest in some skills. Invest in your Roth IRA, your TSP. You know what I'm saying? Stuff that I talk about in my other videos that you should totally watch.